Assalamu alaikum. I welcome all viewers of the Circassian media channel. We are continuing our work despite changes in conditions and circumstances. Quite a few interesting events have occurred that we would usually pay attention to. And we will pay attention, undoubtedly. A whole series of new interviews has been released, with various figures that are worth watching, analyzing, and listening to regarding what the speakers talked about in these interviews. Perhaps to develop some of the thoughts that were voiced there, or to disagree and debate something. This, undoubtedly, will be part of our future work. In addition, various kinds of events have taken place, from large to major ones. From festivals to smaller scale events, various kinds of regular historical conferences have taken place. They have appeared a lot in the information space, and a lot is happening back home as well. We see that the general agenda that exists in Russia, of course, also concerns the regions where we live. In our republics, specifically among the Circassians, a certain politicization of society is drawing attention in connection with the upcoming elections and voting day, or whatever you want to call this event that happens every 4 years. And we see that in the regions, they are very actively using this agenda. I have already managed to take note of the activity of the old-timers of this political system in the form of the LDPR and the CPRF. Now, new people have joined them as well. I've seen various bloggers and activists joining the ranks of these parties and organizations, and they are also declaring some kind of agenda. We will, of course, look into all of this and have a conversation about it. Also, of course, I might be missing a lot of things, and I am even more open to the suggestions and topics that I might not see, but which you are drawing attention to. We are increasing the volume of information that we need to reflect on and analyze together. Today, I wanted to talk about a topic that has caused quite a broad public outcry. People are talking about this on social media, about this. Various media outlets are writing about it, both international ones and those based in Russia. Regarding the fate of Nurdin Keref, which has become a big, bold question mark, and it is very difficult to separate fact from interpretation. Caucasian social media pages were blown up by the tragic news of the death of the young Circassian Nurdin Keref. But what is happening around his name right now is a real shock. His father, Circassian repatriate and activist Khalid Keref, publicly stated that his son was detained by security forces because of his criticism of the authorities, and that the young man died from torture by the FSB in Nolchik. But then another story came to light. Nurdin's mother and close relatives harshly refuted these words. The relatives accused the father of not raising his son and simply using the tragedy for political hype. At the same time, human rights activists claim that the family is being pressured to remain silent in exchange for the release of the body. What really happened to Nurdin Keref? A tragedy at the front or brutal repression? Today, we will try to do this a little bit with you, to understand what actually happened and what the situation is today. To do this, first of all, I decided to turn to the primary source, to the person who made this appeal and published it.
Marianna Şeru, head of the Circassian Center Foundation in New York City. And today, I couldn't stand aside and decided to record this appeal to everyone who's capable of hearing and helping. A resident of the city of Nolchik reached out to me, Khalid Keref. He reported that his son, Nurdin Keref, had been arrested. And according to Khalid, he received a call today from an unknown number. The caller spoke in pure Circassian and stated that his son would be sent to assault units, and that the father would never see his child again if he did not stop his public activities related to the issue of the freedom of the Circassian people. I am appealing to journalists, human rights activists, lawyers, international organizations, and to all people for whom human life and dignity matter. This story must be made known. It demands attention and active investigation. I am appealing to those who make the decisions. Whatever a person's political views may be, the fate of his son should not become a way to pressure the father. A young man should not be turned into a tool for intimidating a family.
I will state right away that we are not going to pass any verdicts or draw conclusions today, of course. Today, we will try to understand a little better what the essence of this issue is, because the situation and how it is presented in the media, of course, requires immediate attention and cannot be ignored. Therefore, today we'll talk about this, and let's listen to what Marianna Şeru answered to our questions. To delve a little deeper into this situation and understand in general what the essence of this issue is and at what stage this situation is currently at, we asked for a comment on this issue. Marianna Şeru, the author of the appeal. Marianna, can you tell us about the ribdag first?
Law is here. We will be talking about what we want to tell you. We want
To tell you what we want to tell you. I am glad to welcome all the subscribers of your channel. Everyone will be watching this video. At Habzam Skat Yakhanis Huya, since the news has a wide resonance even outside our community, our people, we will still conduct this conversation in Russian so that we can translate it into Turkish as well, where, in particular, they are discussing this situation with Nurdin Keref a lot. To start off, Marianna, tell us how it came about that you recorded this appeal, and what is the essence of this issue?
On August 3rd, Khalid Keref sent me several messages on WhatsApp in which he told me that he had received a call that day from an unknown number. And speaking in pure Circassian, they informed him that his son had been arrested, and if Khalid did not stop his appeals, his actions, his comments, his activist activities, his son would be sent to the front lines in Ukraine. Naturally, I asked a number of clarifying questions because this situation seemed shocking to me. As a Circassian activist for rights and freedom, it is incredibly painful. I went through this situation and asked how I could help Khalid. He said that at the moment he doesn't know what to do, but the only thing we can do is to make this information public. I asked Khalid for photos of him and his son. I agreed to help him with this. And on August 4th, after Khalid sent me his photos and photos of Nurdin, I published this video message. Already on August 5th, Khalid sent me a message on Facebook saying that he had been taken to the FSB. Him along with his daughter. And in a voice message on Facebook, Khalid reported that he had been told his son was dead. If Khalid wants to claim his son's body, he must record a video message retracting his previous statement. As Khalid said, they gave him a script. And on camera, he said everything they demanded of him under threats to his family. Then, on August 6th, I received the last message from Khalid asking me not to report anything else, not to say anything else, and to delete that video from my end, because he said that threats and pressure on his family from the authorities were continuing, which in fact is what I did. On August 7th, I deleted that video message.
But nevertheless, the information is already online, and of course, there is a very wide resonance, as I mentioned earlier. Many media outlets, independent media outlets, are discussing this situation. And furthermore, we see that a number of pro-government groups, organizations, public pages, and so on have published information with headlines claiming that this is all fake, that it's all untrue. The side that claims he had been fighting there in Ukraine for a long time and so on and died there also hasn't provided any legal confirmation for what they are saying. It is important to note this. Roughly speaking, there is some kind of response to this information that is spread. Have you managed to find out any details directly regarding the actual circumstances? That is, can we separate what is definitely a fact, a known part of this story? Here we are already interpreting, and so on. What kind of assessment can you give to this?
I can only give my opinion. After the news about Nurdin's fate appeared, indeed, appeals appeared on social media from women presented as Nurdin's mother, as Nurdin's spouse, with a completely different version of this young man's fate. As far as I know, from the words of one of our activists, with whom Khalid also continues to communicate now, these publications appeared under pressure on the family, and the materials for them, including the texts, the photographs were prepared by them in advance and sent for posting. At the same time, Khalid himself continues to claim that Nurdin did not serve in the Russian army and did not participate in the war with Ukraine. Therefore, I personally believe it is right to rely on the father's position rather than spreading the version that emerged as a result of pressure on the family. For me, as a person, as a woman, and as a fighter for the rights and freedom of the Circassians, it is incredibly painful to see what this Circassian family is going through right now. And I can say one thing, despite the entire situation I had to go through, if anyone ever encounters such a tragedy and turns to me for help, regardless of their gender, age, or social status, and even the person's title, I will try to do everything to help them save themselves and save the family. I really hope that we will soon learn the facts about the death of Nurdin Keref.
It is obvious in any case that this case will have more new circumstances. We will be watching for their emergence, so we will be following this issue. Well, perhaps we will be able to talk to other participants in these processes as well, to understand why this case is causing such a great resonance in society. As for our further work moving forward, I want to be very clear. I have a firm, unwavering intention to continue it. I am committed to not remaining silent, and I will continue speaking the truth, no matter what. Kerja Zerlina. Assalamu alaikum.